Today we are starting Canto 4. Last week we had an introductory class, so wherein we saw how Canto 3 takes us to Canto 4 and Canto 5. While Canto 3 is introducing the sadhana that we are supposed to follow, Canto 4 and Canto 5 through various pastimes will inform us what are the different variety of obstacles that can come in the life of a sadhaka. So from that point of view, try to understand how the different personalities in Canto 4, Canto 5 are teaching different things to us, how to be careful while practicing our bhakti, etc. So, especially in chapter 1, we'll see the descendants of the three daughters of Swayambhu Manu, Akuti, Devahuti, and Prasuti. So, wherein the three of them will give birth to the Supreme Lord in directly or indirectly. For example, Akuti directly gives birth to Lord Yajna. Devahuti's daughter gives birth to Lord Dattatreya, and Prasuti's daughter also gives birth to Narayana Rishi. So, in that way, in their dynasty, the Supreme Lord appears. So, in that way, it is very special dynasty. So, Sukadeva Goswami explains everything in detail. So, big chapter, 66 verses are there. So, basically, we'll see the descendants of Akuti, descendants of Devahuti and Kardama and their children, and the descendants of Prasuti and Daksha. So, here, descendants of Akuti and Ruchi. Akuti marries Ruchi. So, in that way, the three daughters of Swayambhu gave birth to various children. The details of all those children are mentioned in this chapter. And this chapter ends with a critical note. So that leads to the future 7 chapters. So next 6 chapters, chapter 2 to chapter 7. And then Swayambhu Manu's sons' lineage will be mentioned. The descendants of Uttanapada will be mentioned from 8th chapter onward. And then the 5th the Priyavrata's descendants will be mentioned. So in that way, the 5 kids of Swayambhu Manu will be indicated in these 2 cantos. So like that. First, Akuti. Maitreya Uvacha.
मैत्रेय उवाच
Manostu Shatarupayam.
मनोस्तु चतुरूपायां
Tisra Kanyasta Jajnire.
तिस्रा कन्यास्य जञ्जिरे
Akutir Devahutischa.
आकुतिर्देवहूतिश्च
Prasutir iti Vishruta.
प्रसूतिरिति विश्रुता. Sri Maitreya said, Swayambhuva Manu begot 3 daughters in his wife Satrupa, and their names were Akuti, Devahuti, and Prasuti.
So after marrying Shatarupa, Swayambhu Manu gave birth to 2 sons and 3 daughters. The 3 daughters were Akuti, Devahuti, and Prasuti. So in the previous volume, that is Canto 3, in relating the story of Kardama, the family of Devahuti, Manu's second daughter, was very briefly described. To put things in order, now the lineages of all the 3 daughters, starting with the first daughter, Akuti, is described. So in order to describe Lord Kapila, in the last canto, there was a brief discussion about Devahuti and Kardama's marriage and they begetting 9 daughters. They got married to 9 different sages. So afterwards, what happened, we don't know. And those details also will be mentioned now. So starting from first daughter's marriage and children, second daughter's marriage and children, third daughter's marriage and children, like that. All the details in sequence are mentioned in the chapter. So Brahma had many sons, but among them, Manu was outstanding for his devotion. That is the significance of the word tu. The word cha indicates that he also had 2 sons. So Manu's two, of course, Brahma had many sons, but Manu is a special devotee. That's why Manu has become one of the 12 Mahajanas. Swayambhu Narada Shambhu Kumaro Kapilo Manu. That Manu is Swayambhu Manu, the one who wrote Manusmruti for his great devotional attributes. Like that. Akutim Ruchaye Pradat.
Akruti, Akruti Ruchaya Prahlada.
अपि भ्रातृमति नृपा
Api Bhatrumati Rupa.
पुत्रिका धर्मम् आश्रित्य
Putrika Dharma Ashritya
शतरूपानुमोदितः
Tarupanumoditaha. Translation. Akuti had two brothers, but in spite of her brothers, King Swayambhua Manu handed her over to Prajapati Ruchi on the condition that the son born of her be returned to Manu as his son. This he did in consultation with his wife Satarupa. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, with the consent of Shatarupa, Manu gave Akuti, his first daughter, to Ruchi, a great sage Ruchi. He is also a son of Brahma only, taking shelter of Putrika Dharma, even though Akuti had brothers. So, what is the reason? Let us understand. Though Swayambhu Manu had two sons, Uttanapada and Priyavata, but Manu gave Akuti to Ruchi on the condition that Ruchi's son would be given back to Manu as his own son. It is called Putrika Dharma. He did not desire more sons, but knew that Akuti would give birth to an avatara, since Manu had omniscience. May the Lord be my daughter's son and my son as well. Even though Swayambhu Manu himself had two sons, if possible, if required, he can have more sons also, but he does not want to have more sons. Instead, understanding that his daughter would be going to give birth to Supreme Lord, knowing that, but without revealing to anybody, at the time of marriage, he put a condition. This condition is called Putrika Dharmam or Putrika Putratvam. The son of the daughter will become my son. Generally, this is followed by those parents who don't have any son. If the parents who don't have any son, they request their son-in-law after the marriage of their daughter, they say that, so the son of my daughter will be my son and he will stay at my home. Like that, they would put condition. So this kind of condition we can see in Ramayana, Mahabharata also. In Mahabharata, when Arjuna married Chitrangada, so the eventually Babruwahana was born. But Chitrangada's father, he told Arjuna, my dear Arjuna, so you can marry my daughter, but since I don't have any sons, the son of my daughter will be my son, and he will rule over my kingdom. So in that way, Babruwahana stayed back with his grandfather, becoming his son there only. So he did not take part in Mahabharata battle. So like that. So like that, there could be many other examples in all our scriptures also, but that is to be followed. So here we can see it is like this. In giving the daughter away, the following would be said: I'll give you my daughter, well ornamented with few brothers. The son born to her will be my son. So this is the condition called as Putrika Dharma. Abhratrikam pradasyami tubhyam kanyam alankritam. Asyamyo jayate putra same putro bhavet. So my dear son-in-law, I am offering my daughter in marriage to you, well ornamented, but her son would be my son. So son-in-law would agree. So eventually the son of the daughter would be their son. So like that, because he knew that Supreme Lord is going to appear, so let me have the Supreme Lord as my son. So with that condition, Akuti married to Ruchi, and Ruchi agreed. So because my Manu is a great devotee, how can he deny? Prajapati sa Bhagavan,
Prajapati sa Bhagavan,
Ruchis
Ruchis, Ruchis tasyam ajijanat,
Mitunam Brahma Varchasvi
Mithunam Brahma Varchasvi,
Paramena Samadhina.
Paramena Samadhina. Translation: Ruchi was very powerful in his Brahmanical qualifications and was appointed one of the progenitors of the living entities. begot one son and one daughter by his wife Akuti. Hare Krishna.
Yeah. By intense concentration, the powerful Prajapati Ruchi begot in Akuti two children of divine splendor. So Ruchi is also not ordinary person, he is a Brahma's son, great Prajapati and great powerful mystic yogi. So by his wonderful devotional qualities, the Lord agreed to become his son. Lord born through his wife. Two personalities were born. So who are the two? We'll understand now. So what are the two people? Who are the two people born to Akuti through Ruchi? Yastayo Purusho Purusha Sakshad.
Yastayoho Purusha Sakshat
Vishnur Yajna
Vishnu Yajna Swarupadruk
या स्त्री सा दक्षिणा भूते
Ya Stri Sa Dakshina Bhute
अंशभूतानपायिनी.
Amsha Bhutana Payini. Translation. Of the two children born of Akuti, the male child was directly an incarnation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and his name was Yajna, which is another name of Lord Vishnu. The female child was a partial incarnation of Lakshmi, the goddess of fortune, the eternal consort of Lord Vishnu. Hare Krishna.
Hmm. So who were born to Ruchi and Akati as children? The Supreme Lord himself appeared as Lord Yajna and Mother Lakshmi appeared as Dakshina. So Lord Vishnu and Mother Lakshmi, both of them appeared together as their children. She was a portion of Goddess Lakshmi. Thus there is no violation when the two got married. So Lord Yajna was Lord Vishnu himself and Dakshina was an expansion of Goddess Lakshmi. Not Goddess Lakshmi directly, but she is an expansion of Goddess Lakshmi. So when the two children were born, as per the condition, Swayambhava Manu will take the son to his home and the great sage Rishi will retain the daughter. And eventually, in due course of time, both Lord Vishnu, who is appearing now as Lord Yajna, and Mother Lakshmi's expansion, who is appearing now as Dakshina, will marry. आनिन्ये स्वगृहं पुत्र्या
आनिन्ये स्वगृहं पुत्र्या
पुत्रं विततरोचिसं
पुत्रं विदितारोचिसं
स्वयंभुवो मुदा युक्तो
स्वयंभुवो मुदा युक्तो
रुचेर्जग्राह दक्षिणाम्.
चिरजग्राह दक्षिणam. Translation. Swambhu Manu very gladly brought home the beautiful boy named Yajna and Ruchi. His son-in-law kept with him the daughter Dakshina. Hare Krishna.
So Swayambhu Manu joyfully brought the powerful son of his daughter, son of Akuti, to his own home. And Ruchi they kept Dakshina. So the girl was with Ruchi and Akuti, and the boy was with Swayambhu Manu and Shatarupa. So like that. Tam Kamayanam Bhagavan
तं कामयान भगवान्
Uvaha Yajusham Patihi
युवा युजुषापति
Tuštayam Toshamapanno
तुष्टायां तोषमा अपन्न
Ajanayad Dvadashatmajan
अजनयत द्वादश आत्मजान्
Tosha Pratosha Santosho
ओफा प्रतोष संतोष
Bhadra Shantir Idaspatihi
भद्र शांति इदस्पति
Id Mahakavir Vibhu
idm mahakavi vibhu.
Sahana sudevo rochano dvishat.
Fana fudeva rochana dvifada. The Lord of the ritualistic performance of the Yajna later married Dakshina, who was anxious to have the personality of Godhead as her husband. And in this wife, the Lord was also very much pleased to beget 12 children. The 12 boys born of the Yajna and Dakshina were named Tofa, Pradofa, Pradofa, Fantofa, Bhadra, Fani, Idapati, Idm, Kavi, Vibhu, Swaha, Sudev, and Rochana. Hare Krishna.
Yeah. Eventually, in due course of time, the both were married. The Lord of Sacrifice, Lord Vishnu, Lord Yajna, now known as, married Dakshina, who desired him, and taking pleasure in her, who was satisfied, produced 12 sons. The 12 sons were named Tosha, Pratosha, Bhadra, Shanti, Idaspati, Idma, Kavi, Vibhu, Swahana, Sudeva, and Rochana. So Lord Yajna and Dakshina married and they begot 12 sons. And they are known as Tushitas. All put together, they are called as Tushisas. So like that.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, how, I mean, I don't understand how this marriage is taking place. Like they are, practically they are brother and sister. And even if the son is to the
That's why the point was
grandfather,
mentioned. See, the birth among the sages is not like the birth in Bharata Varsha. Whatever relationships we always hear, mainly meant for the residents of
Mhm,
Bharata Varsha. Okay? In Bharata Varsha, there are certain rules
mhm,
are there we need to follow. And these rules are not applicable to upper planetary systems. For example, if you remember Mahabharat, in Mahabharat, when Arjuna goes there to learn the divine weaponry, etc., Urvashi becomes attracted to Arjuna.
mhm,
So, so Urvashi approaches Arjuna, but Arjuna respects her like a mother. And Urvashi says, no, in the heaven, no one has such kind of relationships. Not like a mother, either it will not work here. So you don't worry about all these things. But Arjuna says, no, even though in heaven such kind of rules are not applicable, but I belong to Bharata Varsha. In Bharata Varsha, we follow all these rules and regulations very strictly. Since you have been stayed in our Vamsha at the beginning, you have been the wife of Pururava. Hmm?
mhm.
Pururava is the first person who began Chandra Vamsha. So I have to treat you as mother. So, but like mother means in that sense, mother, grandmother, like that.
Mhm.
So I have to respect you like a mother only. I cannot ignore the rules and regulations that are being followed in our place. So like that. So from place to place, the rules will change.
So this is taking place where this is taking place.
See,
This Swayambhu Manu and all.
Sage Ruchi is direct son of Brahma. Okay,
Mm,
and
mm,
he not necessarily living on the earth. He could be living somewhere on the upper planets.
okay.
Though Swayambhu Manu is living on the earth, but Ruchi could be living in Maharloka or Janaloka.
Mm-hmm.
Later on,
Okay.
we see the third daughter Prasuti
Okay.
was given in marriage to Daksha. Daksha was living in heaven. He was
Mm.
also another Prajapati. He was living in heaven. So like that, Ruchi might be living in one of the upper planet systems. So in that way, we don't have to worry. There, the rules are different. And the other thing, if for these mystic stages, the birth of the
Mm.
children would be entirely in a mystic way. They would just appear like Aditi and
But
Kashyapa. Like Aditi and Kashyapa, if you see, so
mhm.
Aditi was worshipping Lord Vishnu by following the Payavrata. So Lord Vishnu agreed to become her son and entered a room. So he was in a room for more than 7 months. And one fine day, the womb disappeared, and the Lord appeared in front of her in a four-handed Chaturbhuja Vishnu Narayana form. So then she said, "No, I want to have you as my son." Then he immediately transformed himself as dwarf Vamana. But before that, he was in the womb, and the womb disappeared, and he appeared in front of Mother Aditi and Kashyapa as completely four-handed Vishnu form. And then he transformed into Vamana. So like that.
Okay.
In the case of Devatas,
But
things will happen mystically.
okay, but Prabhuji, Swayambhuva Manu was born of Brahma, and he he has taken out the process of this increasing the population by the normal method, na?
No,
And here it is
Swayambhuva
mentioned
Manu.
that
One second, one second, one second. Swayambhuva Manu is not a Prajapati. He has given the responsibility of taking care of the entire Bhumandala by becoming the king of the Bhumandala. So he only
okay,
begot 5 children. See, since he has become the ruler of the human beings, he will act like the human beings. So he will follow all the rules and regulations that belongs to human beings.
hmm,
But his daughters were married to great sages, and they will follow those rules.
okay,
Mm,
okay, got it, Prabhuji.
mm.
Yes. Hmm.
But in any case, whether they appear together or separately, in whatever case, they are eternal couple. So you cannot say because they appear together, they cannot marry, not like that. That's why it is said, the point also mentioned. Yajna is Lord Vishnu himself, but Dakshina is an expansion of Mother Lakshmi. If at all somebody thinks that how can these two get married? So she is expansion of Mother Lakshmi. So she can marry. So like that.
Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Uh, and uh, even we hear sometimes our neighbors also follow such kind of rules. Brother sister also get married. So this marriage is not like brother and sister, and their birth is not like our birth also. Their birth is simply appearance. So it is like that. And finally, they don't belong to Bharatavarsha. They belong to upper planetary systems. There, the rules and regulations are entirely different. Here, we need to follow all the rules and regulations because it is karma bhumi. We need to follow everything very strictly. Suchita nama te deva
Tushita naam te deva
asan swayambhuvantare
asan swayambhuvantare
marichi mishra rushayo
marichi mishra rushayo
yajna suraganeshwaraha
yajna suraganeshwaraha. During the
priyavratottana padau
Priyavrata Uttana Padav
manuputrau mahaujasau
Manuputrau Mahaujasau
तत्पुत्र पौत्र नप्त्रो नप्त्राणाम्
Tatputra Pautra Naputranam
अनुवृत्तं तदन्तरम्
Anuvrittam Tadantaram. Translation. During the time of Swayambhuva Manu, these sons all became the demigods collectively named the Tushitas. Marichi became the head of the 7 rishis and Yajna became the king of the demigods Indra. Swayambhuva Manu's 2 sons Priyavrat and Uttanapad became very powerful kings and their sons and grandsons spread all over the 3 worlds during that period. Hare Krishna.
Yeah. So what were the roles and responsibilities of all these people during the Swayambhuva Manvantara period are mentioned briefly. During Swayambhuva Manvantara period, the Tushitas were the Devatas. The 12 sons of Tushitas became the 12 important Devatas. Currently, we have 12 Adityas who are taking care of the important responsibilities like Indra, Surya, Varuna, etc. So during Swayambhuva Manvantara period, these 12 Tushitas were taken the responsibility of Surya, Indra, not Indra, Indra will come to know who became Indra, Surya, Varuna and other devatas, all important devatas. Marichi and others became Saptarishis. And Yajna was the head of the devatas. Yajna became Sura Ganeshwara, Indra. Lord Yajna himself became Indra because there was no one qualified to become Indra that time. He became Indra. Swayambhuva Manu's two sons, Prevrata and Uttanapada, became very powerful, and their sons and grandsons were active during the period of Swayambhuva Manvantara period. So basically, later on in the 8th canto and 12th canto, we study that in each reign of Manu, 6 types of personalities appear as manifestations of Lord Hari. So for a Manvantara to run properly, there are 6 category of people are required to run the entire Manvantara time period. They will take care of the maintenance of the entire universe. So who are the 6 people? The first one is the ruling Manu. So at the beginning of the Manvantara period, the first king will be the known as ruling Manu, and only his children would be ruling the entire Manvantara period. He will rule for some time the entire Bhumandala, and later on his children, grandchildren, they will only rule for that Manvantara period. So during the Swayambhuva Manvantara period, Swayambhuva Manu was the Manu, and his sons Uttanapada, Priyavrata, and their children were the subsequent kings. So we will see in this chapter, we will see half of the Manvantara period was ruled by Uttanapada and his children, and the second half of the Manvantara period is ruled by Priyavrata and Priyavrata's children. So in that way, Swayambhuva Manu and his two sons and their sons, they have ruled the entire Swayambhuva Manvantara period, the entire Bhumandala. In the heaven, Indra will rule the 3 planetary systems, Bhuloka, Bhurloka, Sargaloka. And Indra is assisted by all the different variety of devatas and also Saptarishis. The Saptarishis keep instructing Indra and devatas and also Manu and the different kings so that they do their duty as an offering to Supreme Lord. The important duty of the Saptarishis is to teach Dharma cycle time and again. And Indra, the great sages and the partial grand Supreme Lord. And there is like that we have 5 people, Swayambhuva Manu and Manuputras, Indra and Devatas and also the great sages, 5. The 6th one is Manvantara Avatara. For every Manvantara period there is Manvantara Avatara. So the Manvantara Avatara during the Swayambhuva Manvantara period is Lord Yajna himself as well as Lord Kapila. Both of them are considered as Manvantara Avataras. So like that. Manvantara Manurdeva Manuputra Sureshwaraha. Rushayo Amshavatarascha Hare Sadvidam Uchate. So Lord Hari himself manifests in 6 forms to maintain the entire universe for that Manvantara period. To all the 6 people, Manu, Devatas, Manuputras, Indra, Saptarishis, and Amshavatar, that is Manvantara Avatara. They are the 6 people who take care of during each Manvantara period. For example, during the 7th Manvantara, Purandara is Indra, and Varuna, Surya, and all different devatas. And Saptarishis also we have Bharadwaja, Vasishta, Jamadagni, etc. etc. And the Manu was Vivashata Manu, and Manuputras were Ikshvaku, etc. etc. So then Manvantara Avatara during the 7th Manvantara is Lord Vamana. Lord Vamana himself is the Manvantara Avatara. So these are 6 people during the Swayambhuva Manvantara. So Manu is Swayambhuva Manu, Devatas are Tushtas, Manuputras are Priyavata, Uttanapada and their children. Indra was Lord Yajna, son of Akuti and Ruchi. 7 sages were Marichi, Atri, Pulasya, Pulaha, Kratu, Bhrugu and Vasishta. And Manvantara Avatara was Lord Yajna and Lord Kapila. So like that. So here Lord Yajna is acting as Manvantara Avatara as well as Indra also. So when there was no one qualified to become Indra, Lord himself becomes Indra. Here is one example. So like that, Akuti, who married Ruchi, gave birth to 2 children. One is Lord Vishnu himself appeared as Lord Yajna. Second one is an expansion of Mother Lakshmi, who is known as Dakshina. They got married, they got children. So with the help of Lord Yajna and Lord Yajna's sons, Swayambhuva Manu and Swayambhuva Manu's sons, Saptarishis, the entire Bhumandala was ruled and protected. Even 3 planetary systems, Bhuloka, Bhurloka, Sargaloka were protected during the Swayambhuva Manvantara period. So like that. Similarly, other 2 daughters were given to 2 more sages. Devahuti was given to Kardama and Prasuti was given to Daksha. So that will be mentioned in the next two verses. Devahutim adattata
देवहूतिम अदातात
Kardamaayatmajam manuhu
कर्दमाय आत्मजाम मनु
तत्संबंधी श्रुता प्रायम
तत्संबंधी फ्रुत प्रायम
भवता गदतो मम
भवता गदतः मम
दक्षाय ब्रह्मपुत्राय
तक्षाय ब्रह्मपुत्राय
प्रसूतिं भगवान् मनु
प्रसूतिं भगवान् मनु
प्रायच्चद् यत्कृता सर्गस्
प्रायक्षत यत्कृता सर्गः
त्रिलोक्यां विततो महान्
त्रिलोक्यां विदत महान्. My dear son Swayambhu Manu handed over his very dear daughter Devahuti to Kardam Muni. I have already spoken to you about them, and you have heard about them almost in full. Swayambhu Manu handed over his daughter Prasuti to the son of Brahma and Daksha, who was also one of the progenitor of the living entities. The descendants of the Daksha are spread throughout the three worlds. Hare Krishna.
My dear Vidura, Swayambhu Manu gave Devahuti, the second daughter, to Kardama. You have heard from me almost everything about them already in third canto. Swayambhu Manu gave Prasuti, his third daughter, to Daksha, the son of Lord Brahma. They spread great population throughout the three worlds. Trilokyam Vitato. The children of Devahuti and Prasuti spread throughout the universe. Akuti only gave birth to two children, and they had more children, but that is it. But these people have a lot of children. So in that way. So Maitreya told about Devahuti's sons and daughters. He says almost everything because he had not told about her daughter's descendants. So to the extent that 9 daughters were born and they were married to 9 sons of Lord Brahma, that much was told. Now who are their descendants? These 9 sons of Brahma, through after marrying these 9 daughters of Devahuti and Kardama, to whom they gave birth. So their children details are mentioned now in the next section. So any questions till now? Hare Krishna.
No, Prabhuji, it's okay.
No, Prabhuji.
What happened today? No devotees are there? Is there any training is happening in the temple? Our devotees are already on marathon, book marathon.
No
Only
idea,
10
Prabhuji.
Only 10 devotees are there. या कार्दमसुता प्रोक्ता
या कार्दमसुतः प्रोक्ता
नव ब्रह्मर्षि पत्न्यः
नव ब्रह्मर्षि पत्न्यः
तासां प्रसूति प्रसवम्
तासां प्रसूति प्रसवम्
प्रोच्यमानं निबोध मे
रोचमानं निबोध मे. Translation. We have already been informed about the 9 daughters of Kardama Muni, who were handed over to the 9 different sages. I shall now describe the descendants of those 9 daughters. Please hear from me. Hare Krishna.
Yeah. Kardama and Devothi's 9 daughters who married to 9 great sages, and they gave birth to many children who spread the entire universe. Now please listen about them. So like that is telling. Patni Marichestu Kala
Patni Marichestu Kala
शुशुवे कर्दमात्मजा
सुषुवे कर्दमात्मजा
कश्यपं पूर्णिमानं च
कश्यपं पूर्णिमानं च
ययोरापूरितं जगत्
ययो आपूरितं जगत्. Kardama Muni's daughter Kala, who was married to Marichi, gave birth to two children, whose names were Kashyapa and Purnima. Their descendants are spread all over the world. Hare Krishna.
Yeah. So the first daughter of Kardama and Devahuti married Marichi, and they gave birth to Kashyapa and Purniman, whose descendants spread throughout the universe. So who are the children of Kashyapa and Purnima? Let's see. Purnima Suta Virajam,
Purnima
Purnima Su
Sota Virjam,
Vishwagam Cha Parantapa,
Vifgancha Param Tapa,
Devakulyam Hare Pada,
Devakulyam Hare Pada,
Saucha Dyabhuj Saridviva.
Fauchadaya Abhut Farit Diva. My dear Vidura, of the two sons, Kashyapa and Purnima, Purnima begot three children, namely Virja, Vifva, and Devakulya. Of these three, Devakulya was the water which washed the lotus feet of the personality of the Godhead, and which later on transformed into the Ganga of the heavenly planets. Hare Krishna.
Oh Vidura, Purniman had two sons, Viraja and Visarga, and a daughter named Devakulya, who became the divine Ganga from washing Lord's feet. So during Swayambhu Manvantara period, Devakulya, who was the daughter of Purniman, eventually she will become Ganga during Vaibhav Manvantara period at the time of Lord Vamana. The descendants of Kashyapa will be described in Canto 6. So Devakulya was the name of the daughter. In another birth, she became the divine river Ganga because of the divine act of washing the Lord's lotus feet. So in that life, she will be appearing as the daughter of Himavan, and she will flow like a great divine Ganga by the intervention of Lord Vamana. So in that way. But in any case, Purniman had two sons, Viraja and Visarga, two potent and powerful sons. So that was first one. First one was Kala married Marichi. The second daughter will be explained now, Anusuya. Second daughter was Anusuya who married Atri, and their children are explained now. Atrehe patni Anasuya strin.
Atre Patni Anfuya Srina,
Okay. Jajne Suyashasa Sutan.
Jagge Fuyapa Fufan Futan,
Dattam Durvasasam Somam.
Dattam Durvafamam Fomam,
Atmesha Brahma Sambhavan.
Atma Isa Brahma Sambhavan. Anfuya, the wife of Atri Muni, gave birth to three very famous sons, Soma, Dattatreya, and Durvafa, who were perfect representation of the Lord Vishnu, Lord Shiva, and the Lord Brahma. Soma was the perfect representation of the Lord Brahma. Dattatreya was the perfect representation of the Lord Vishnu. And the Durvasa was the perfect representation of the Lord Shiva. Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Anasuya, another daughter of Kardama and Devahuti, became the wife of Atri Muni, and gave birth to three very famous sons, Dattatreya, Durvasa, and Soma, who were partial representations of Lord Vishnu, Shiva, and Brahma. Atma, Isha, and Brahma Sambhava. Atma stands for the Supreme Lord himself. So the Supreme Lord appeared as Dattatreya, and Lord Shiva appeared as Durvasa Muni. Lord Brahma appeared as Soma, moon god. Like that. So hearing this, immediately Vidura asks, how come the three deities appeared as the sons of Atri and Asuya? So that is explained in the next verse. Vidura Uvacha.
Vidura Uvacha.
Atrayargrihe surashreshta.
Atre grihe surashreshta.
Sthiti utpatti antahetava.
Sthiti utpatti antahetava.
Kinchit chikirshavo jata.
Kinchit chikirsavo jata.
Etat akyahi me guru.
Etad akyahi me guru. Translation. After hearing this, Vidur inquired from Maitreya, my dear master, how is it that the three deities Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva, who are the creators, maintainers, and destroyer of the whole creation, become the offspring of wife of Atri Muni? Hare Krishna.
So Vidura inquires immediately how, under what circumstances they became the sons of Atri and Asuya. Oh Guru, please tell me why Brahma, Shiva, Vishnu, who are the creator, maintainer, and destroyer, desire to be born in the house of Atri Muni. Like that. Now Maitreya will tell the story. Maitreya Uvacha.
Acha. Atreya
Brahmana,
Uvacha.
Brahmana Chodita Srushta.
Brahmana Chodita Prifto.
Atrer Brahma Vidam Svara.
Atre Brahma Vedam Vapaparaha.
Sahapatnya Yayao Raksham.
Papatnaya Uraksham.
Kuladrim Tapasi Stita.
Kula Adrim Tapafi Iftitaha. Maitreya said, my Lord Brahma ordered Atri Muni to create generation after marrying Ansuya. Atri Muni and his wife went to the perform favor after tea in the valley of the mountain known as the Raksha. Hare Krishna.
Maitreya is responding. Inspired by Brahma to create, because Brahma, as a matter of duty, requested all his sons to beget children and populate the entire universe. So that is their natural duty. So inspired by Brahma to create, Atri Muni, the best of knowers of Brahman, being austere, went with his wife to Ruksha mountain. Because he is a Brahma Vidam, Brahmavadi, so he went to Ruksha mountain and began to perform tapasya. So he went to Ruksha mountain to perform tapasya, but for what reason? So what was the reason? For what purpose Atri and Anasuya went to Ruksha mountain and performed tapasya? Tasmin prasuna stabdakaha.
Tasmin prasunastabaka.
Pala shashoka kanane.
Pala shashoka kanane.
Varbihi sravadbhir udguste.
Varbi sravadbi rushte.
Nirvindyayas samantataha.
निर्विन्द्यायाः समन्ततः. Translation.
प्राणायामेन संयम्य
प्राणायामेन संयम्य
मनोवर्षशतं मुनिः
मनोवर्षशतं मुनिः
अतिष्ठत् एकपादेन
अतिष्ठत् एकपादेन
निर्द्वन्द्वो निलभोजन.
निर्द्वन्द्वो अनिलभोजनः. Translation. In the mountain valley flows a river named Nirivindya. On the bank of the river are many ashoka trees and other plants full of palasha flowers, and there is always the sweet sound of water flowing from the waterfall. The husband and wife reached that beautiful place. These great sage, there the great sage concentrated his mind by the yogic breathing exercises and thereby controlling all attachment. He remained standing on one leg only, eating nothing but air, and stood there on one leg for 100 years. Hare Krishna.
There in a grove of flowering palasa and ashoka trees, filled with the sound of the Nirvindya river, Atri Muni, controlling his mind and breath, remained standing on one foot for 100 years, consuming only air without duality. So he performed tapasya for 100 years without eating anything, without accepting anything, except breathing air. Was only breathing and performed tapasya for 100 complete years. That kind of severe austerities, he did it. So in another class, on Saturday evening, we were discussing about Hiranyakashipu's austerities. He also performed austerities for 100 celestial years, standing only on the two thumbnails and putting his two arms onto the sky. And he was also not eating anything, only controlling, just breathing only. He sustained himself for 100 celestial years. So like that, these people perform severe tapasya. But for what reason he was performing tapasya? Sharanam tam prapadyeham
Charanam tam prapadyeham
य एषा जगदीश्वरः
ya eva jagadishvaraha
प्रजाम् आत्मसमां मह्यम्
rajam atmam samamayam
प्रयच्छतु इति चिन्तयम्.
prayachatva iti chintayan. He was thinking, may the Lord of the universe, of whom I have taken shelter, kindly be pleased to offer me a son exactly like him.
So he went to Ruksha mountain in the midst of Palasha and Ashoka trees, on the bank of a wonderful river. He began to perform tapasya. He did perform tapasya for 100 years, but while doing tapasya, he was expressing a desire. What was his desire? Oh Jagadishwara, may I have a son like you. He thought, I surrender to the Lord of the universe. May he give me offspring equal to him. Let me have a son who is like the Lord of the universe. Let the Lord of the universe give me a son who is like himself. So that was the desire of Atri Muni, and in order to fulfill that, he is performing the severe tapasya for 100 long years, not one day, 2 day, and without eating anything, without drinking and eating anything, only breathing. He was sustaining himself only by breathing. Because tapasya went for such a long time, that kind of tapasya would produce fire all over the world. Same thing happened. His tapasya produced fire all over the world. Tapyamanam tribhuvanam
Tapyamanam tribhuvanam
pranayamadi sagnina
pranayamaidha sagnina
nirgatena munirmurna
nirgatena munirmurna
samiksha Prabhavastraya.
Samiksha Prabhavastrayah.
Apsaro Muni Gandharva.
Apsaro Muni Gandharva.
Siddha Vidyadharo Ragai.
Siddha Vidyadharo Ragai.
Vitayamana Yashasas.
Vitayamana Yashasas.
Sadashrama Padam Yayu.
Tadashrama Padam Vyayuh. Translation: While Atri Muni was engaged in these severe austerities, a blazing fire came out of his head by virtue of his breathing exercise, and that fire was seen by three principal deities of the three worlds. At that time, the three deities approached the hermitage of Atri Muni, accompanied by the denizens of the heavenly planets, such as the celestial beauties, the Gandharvas, the Siddhas, the Vidyadharas, and the Nagas. Thus they entered the ashrama of the great sage who had become famous by his austerities.
So, Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva, spreading great fame, seeing that the three worlds, Bhuloka, Bhurloka, Swargaloka, like fuel were burning because the tapasya is so intense. As a result of that, Bhuloka, Bhurloka, and Swargaloka were about to be burnt. They are already getting heated up. Hmm? Seeing that imminent danger, Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva became okay by the fire of pranayama, went to the Brahma, Shiva, Vishnu, went to the hermitage along with Gandharva, Siddhas, Vidyadharas, and Nagas. Basically, three of them because he did not mention the name. He said Jagadishwara. Oh, Jagadishwara, may I have a son like you. So these three are Jagadishwaras. So three of them came. So that he will stop the yajna, so that he will stop the tapasya, so that the world become peaceful. Controlling the mind by pranayama, he stood there doing pranayama. The three deities saw the three worlds fuel to his pranayama burn up by the fire of penance coming from the sage's head. From his head coming a fire. That fire is about to be about to burn Bhuloka, Bhurloka, Saragaloka. Before that could happen, the three deities came to stop him and also to fulfill his desire. Now three of them are standing in front of Atri Muni. So what did Atri do? Iti pradurbhava samyoga.
तत् प्रादुर्भाव संयोग
Vidyotita manamunihi.
विद्योतित मना मुनि
Uttishtan ekapadena.
उत्तिष्ठन् एकपादेन
Tadarsha vibudarshabhan.
तदर्फ विबुध प्रभान्. The sage was standing on one leg, but as soon as he saw the three deities had appeared before him, he was so pleased to see them all together that, despite great difficulty, he approached them on one leg. Hare Krishna.
So like Dhruva Maharaj, who was standing on one leg while doing tapasya, Atri Muni was also standing on one leg. So when the three deities came in front of him, he slowly opened his eyes and he began to offer them respect. He will fall flat and offer respect to their lotus feet, and then he will offer some prayers. He was eager to meet them because they had appeared before him. He was standing up in order to greet them properly. So they were coming in the sky. So he was waiting for them to approach him nearby. Then he will fall flat and offer obeisance to three of them. But while they were coming close to him, he was observing them. By observing who they are, he understood. So, who are the three personalities coming? With what paraphernalia they are coming along with is explained in the next verse. Pranamya dandavad bhuma
प्रणम्य दंडवद भूम
उपतस्तेर्हनाञ्जलि
उपहस्ते हनाञ्जलि
वर्षहंसा सुपर्णस्तान्
हंसा सुपर्णस्तान्
स्वैश्चिन्नैश्च चिन्तितान्
स्वैश्चिन्नचिचिन्तितान्. Translation. Thereafter he
कृपावलोके no wait
okay.
कृपावलोकेन हसद्
कृपावलोकेन हसद
स्वदनेनोपलम्बितान्
तनेनोपलम्बितान्
तद्रोचिषा प्रतिहते
तदरोचिषा प्रतिहते
निमील्या मुनिरक्षिणी.
निमील्या मुनिरक्षिणी. Shall I read the translation, Prabhuji?
Yes, both the translation.
Yeah. Thereafter he began to offer prayer to three deities who were seated on different carriers, a bull, a swan, and Garuda, and who held in their hands a drum, kushagrass, and discus. The sages offered them his respect by falling down like a stick. Translation. Atri Muni was greatly pleased to see the three devas were gracious towards him. His eyes were dazzled by the effulgence of their bodies, and therefore he closed his eyes for the time being. Hare Krishna.
Atri Muni offered respects by falling on the ground and then, with articles of worship in his hands, approached Lord Shiva seated on his bull. Okay, Vrsha. So Lord Shiva seated on his bull. Brahma is seated on swan, Hamsa, and Lord Vishnu seated on Garuda, Suparna, marked with their insignias. So what are the insignias? Lord Shiva might be having Trishul, Brahma might be having Danda and Kamandalu, and Lord Vishnu might be having Shankha Chakra Gada Padma, etc. Seeing all these things, he understood to be his superiors by their glance of mercy and smiling faces. Because of their effulgences, he closed his eyes. So he understood that Brahma and Shiva and Vishnu, three of them came, but they are so effulgent, he could not see them for long. So first of all, in order to receive them, he fell flat, offered obeisances, and then he held flowers and other items in hand. Their symbols were the trident, the water pot, and the chakra, among other things. He recognized them by their glances of mercy, which no other being could have, indicated by their pleased faces. So he understood the three divine personalities have approached him, and he received them, worshipped them with all the worshipful paraphernalia, like that. So if you go to South India, near Tiruchi, so one of the one-eyed Devadeshams, this is one Devadesham, Sri Satyagiri Natha Perumal Temple. And they say that, so this is the temple where Atri Muni performed tapasya and the Lord appeared to him and blessed him. The pastime says like this. The Lord who appeared to Atri Muni is manifested here in this particular Divadesham in Tiruchirappalli near to Srirangam. Chetastat pravanam yunjan
चेत तत्प्रणं युञ्जम्
astavit samahatanjali
अफ्तावित् संहत अंजलि
lakshanaya suktaya vacha
प्रक्षलया प्रक्षलया सुक्तया वाच
sarvalokagariyasah.
परलोकागरीयसः. but there are two translations, Prabhuji. But since his heart was already attracted by the deity, somehow or other he gathered his senses, and with folded hand and feet word, he began to offer prayer to the predominant deity of the universe. The great sages are three fed. Probably there are two if look at together.
Okay, we'll read it afterwards. Concentrating upon them with folded hands, he began to praise, the most praiseworthy in all the worlds, with verses with sweet words. So this verse says that Atri Muni began to praise the three devatas. So now, from 27th verse onwards, for few verses, Atri Muni offers some wonderful prayers unto the three deities. So let us see now. Atrir Uvacha.
अत्रिरुवाच
विश्वोद्भवसितिलयेषु विभज्यमाने
विश्वोद्भवस्थितिलयेषु विभज्यमाने
मायागुणैरणयुगं विगृहीतदेहा
मायागुणैरनुयुगं विगृहीतदेहा
ते ब्रह्मविष्णुगिरिशा प्रणतोऽस्म्यहं वः
ते ब्रह्म विष्णुगिरिशा प्रणतोऽस्म्यहं वः
तेभ्यः क एव भवतां मय्योपहूता
तेभ्यः क एव भवताम् इहोपहूतः. But since his heart was already attracted by the deities, somehow or the other he gathered his senses, and with folded hands and sweet words, he began to offer prayers to the predominating deities of the universe. The great sage Atri said, O Lord Brahma, Lord Vishnu, and Lord Shiva, you have divided yourself into three bodies by accepting the three modes of material nature, as you do in every millennium for the creation, maintenance, and dissolution of the cosmic manifestation. I offer my respectful obeisances unto you, unto all of you, and beg to inquire whom of you three I have called by my prayer. Hare Krishna.
So here Atri Muni is saying that in every kalpa, in every day of Brahma, Lord Brahma, Lord Vishnu, and Lord Shiva accept various forms. Vigrhita Deha, Vishesha Rupena Grhita Deha. Specifically, they accept different forms with gunas, with three gunas, Rajoguna, Tamoguna, Sattoguna, etc. Divided up for creating, maintaining, and destroying the universe. I offer respects to you. Whom among you have I called? Okay. Tebhyaha ka eva bhavatam ma ihopahutaha. Now, Atri was performing tapasya with an intention to have a son. And he wanted to have the son who will be like the Lord of the universe. So he was performing tapasya and the Lord of the universe has come. But not, there is only one Lord. There are three Lords. So, with an intention not to displease anybody, Atri is simply posing a question. So, my dear Lord, as per my understanding, that in every day of Brahma, in every Kalpa, three of you accept different forms and in three gunas for purpose of creation, maintenance, and destruction. So basically, three of you manifest every day of Brahma for the purpose of creation, maintenance, and universe. That is fine. So, but I was praying that the Jagadishwara appear and give me a son. But three of you came. Of three of you, who is Jagadishwara? To whom I prayed for? Instead of saying that I was only praying to one of the three of you, so why other two have come? That would be very ridiculous, not a proper etiquette. So instead, very humbly putting himself as a ignorant person, he's telling that, my dear Lord, So I don't know who among three of you is the actual Jagadishwara. I was only thinking that let me have a son who is like Jagadishwara. So who is Jagadishwara among three of you? Asking them only. You have accepted the bodies for creation, maintenance, and destruction of the universe by the division of the gunas in every kalpa. I recognize you. You have accepted bodies by the material gunas. This is a statement made out of ignorance concerning the position of Lord Vishnu, since it is impossible for the Supreme Lord to have a body of material sattva. So here, Maitreya Muni is speaking in such a way that he is putting himself in a ignorant position by stating that. So, as far as my understanding, that three of you accept three different forms during the day of Brahma for various services. That means they were not having form before that. Their forms are not eternal, something like that. So he's keeping himself in an ignorant position that as if he does not know anything, and then posing the question that I was anticipating the Jagadishwara to come, but three of you came. So who among three of you is the real Jagadishwara? Something like that. I offer respects to you. By mercy, you should destroy my doubt. Who among you did I call by sadhana? He had indicated one person when he said, I surrender unto the Lord of the universe. The 20th verse. Among you, who is the Lord of the universe? By your mercy, you should say. So, like that. Because he never had a thought that let me have three sons. He only had a thought that let me have one son who is like the Lord of the universe. So, but now, since three of them appeared, so not to displease anybody, he is simply asking them. So, my dear Lord, I did tapasya with an intention of getting a son similar to Jagadishwara, but three of you came. So, can you kindly please tell me who is the Jagadishwara among you? Because I don't know who is Jagadishwara among three of you. So, putting himself in a ignorant position. So, like that. So, then he further says, Eko Maheha, Eko Maheha Bhagavan Vivida Pradhanais. Hare Krishna.
एकोमयेह भगवन् विविधः प्रधानैः
चित्तीकृता प्रजननाय कथं नु यूयम्
चित्तीकृत प्रजननाय कथं न यूयम्
अत्रागतास्तनुभृतां मनसोऽपि धूरात्
रागतास्तनुभृतां मनसोऽपि दूरात्
भूता प्रसीद महान् इह विस्मयो मे
भूतः प्रसीदत महानिह विस्मयो मे. Translation: I called for the Supreme Personality of Godhead, desiring a son like him, and I thought of him only. But although he is far beyond the mental speculation of man, all three of you have come here. Kindly let me know how you have come, for I am greatly bewildered about this. Hare Krishna.
Same thing continuing. I fixed my mind upon the one Lord, Eko Bhagavan, with articles of worship for creating progeny. Why have three of you come here? Katam nu yuyam atragatas from far beyond the minds of men. Please be merciful and tell me. I am filled with bewilderment. I was anticipating that the one Jagadishwara would come, but three of you came. Are three of you are Jagadishwaras or one among you is Jagadishwara? Kindly clarify this. So like that, he is asking. They remained silent in the previous, after hearing the previous verse, they remained silent. Thus, my Attri Muni is clarifying what he said in the previous verse. I have fixed one person in my mind with various articles of worship for creating progeny. Why have three of you have come? So then please declare who among three of you is the Jagadishwara. So like that. So not to displease anybody, he is simply asking them to clarify. who is the actual Jagadishwara. So now, from their point of view, Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva might say immediately, hey, Lord Vishnu is the Jagadishwara. Can't you know? Don't you know this much? They would have said it like that because Lord Brahma is the father of Atri and Lord Shiva is the brother of Atri, elder brother of Atri. So both of them are like the gurus and authorities for Atri Muni. Atri is the younger brother of Lord Shiva and son of Lord Brahma. So they could have clearly clarified immediately. But before they would say anything, Lord Vishnu will speak and he will say that three of us are Jagadishwaras. Since you have called Jagadishwara, three of us have come. So same way, because Atri Muni asked the question in such a way not to displease them, but in order not to make Shiva and Brahma low, Lord Vishnu responds saying that they are also equal to me, they are on par with me, they are no less than me. That is the relationship that Brahma, Shiva, Vishnu shares with each other. Brahma, Shiva always worship Lord Vishnu, their master, Lord and Master. But Lord Vishnu on the other side considers them to be on par with him and he respects them on Sakya platform, Saka platform. So like that. That we understand from the next verse. Maitreya Uvacha
Maitreya Uvacha
Iti tasya vacha shrutva
Iti tasya vacha shrutva
Trayaste Vibudarshabha
Trayate Budha Prava
Pratyahus Lakshanaya Vacha
Pratyau Flakshanaya Chavacha
Prahasyatam Rishim Prabho.
Prahasyatam Rishim Prabho. The great sage Maitreya continue upon hearing Atri Muni speak. Atri Muni speak in this way, that way. The three great deities smiled and they replied in the following sweet words.
Oh
Hare
Vidura, hearing his words, the three chiefs of the Devatas, smiling, replied to the sage with sweet words. Though here we see the three of them replied, but actually Lord Vishnu responds immediately. Not to allow Brahma and Shiva to say that Vishnu is the supreme. Lord Vishnu himself will say that three of us are the Jagadishwaras. So in that way. Deva Uchuhu
Deva Uchuhu
Yata Kritaste Sankalpo
Yata Krutaste Sankalpo
Bhavyam Te Naiva Nanyata
Bhavyam Tenaiva Nanyatha
Tasankalpasya Te Brahman
Tatsankalpasya Te Brahman
Yadvaidhyayati Te Vayam.
Yadvaidhyayati Te Vayam. Translation. The three deities told Atri Muni, dear Brahmana, you are perfect in your determination, and therefore, as you have decided, so it will happen. It will not happen otherwise. We are all the same person upon whom you were meditating, and therefore we have all come to you. Hare Krishna.
So they responded that, O Brahmana, since your wish cannot be unfulfilled, as you have wished, it will come to pass and not otherwise. We are that person upon whom you meditated. You meditated to on Jagadishwara so that you will have a son like Jagadishwara. So we three are Jagadishwaras and you will have a son who will be like Jagadishwara. Don't worry. Whatever was your desire, that will be fulfilled. We are that Lord of the universe upon whom you meditated. We are the givers of boons to you whose desires are always fulfilled. The meaning is this. You desired that you should have one son equal to the Lord of the universe. Having a doubt as to who was the Lord of the universe, you meditated on all three of us and then decided on one form, thinking, among the three, let the real Lord come. The three of us, having three powers in the universe, have come here. Though we are in three forms, we three are one. Lord Vishnu is saying that though we have three forms, we three are one only. You should not have used the word, the Supreme Lord, Sharanam Tam Prapadyeham Yo Eva Jagadishvara. It is similar to the utterance in Srimad Bhagavatam 6:9-11. O enemy of Indra, increase in power. Indra Shatro Vivardasva. So, even later in 6th canto, we will see when a mantra chanted, it should be chanted with proper grammatical rules. Otherwise, the meaning will change. So, here he said, Sharanam Tam Prapadyeham Yo Yam Eva Jagadishvaraha. So, you are meditating on one person and saying Jagadishvaraha. But there are multiple Jagadishwaras. So, all of them came. So, in that way. So this statement can also mean the opposite. O Indra, O enemy, increase in power, increase the strength of Indra, the enemy. So because he was supposed to spell the word Indra Shatro Vivardasva. The Shatro should be strongly pronounced. Indra Shatro. Then the enemy of Indra should be strong enough to kill Indra. Instead, he spelled Indra Shatru Vivardasva. He spelled Indra for long time and Shatru for small time. That means Indra, who is the enemy of his son, let him become strong and powerful and kill my son. Something like that. So because of the meter, the meaning changes. So then the result will be different. Same way, though you are meditating on one person, but since you use the word indicating three people, three of them came in that way. From such a desire, and to show the strength of your sadhana, you will get a result according to your sadhana and according to your desire. Your desire was to have a son who is like Jagadishvara. Since there are three Jagadishvaras, you will have three sons who will be like the Jagadishvaras. So he is blessed with three sons. So that is what happened. Even though he made a small mistake, but the mistake resulted in good result. Like that. There in the case of Tashta, he made a small mistake that resulted in opposite result. Like that. Hare Krishna, any questions? Able to follow all of you?
Yes,
Uh,
Prabhuji.
yes, Prabhu. Yes.
Prabhuji, not we are following this, but one question. Hare Krishna, can you hear me, Prabhuji?
Yes, yes.
Prabhuji, please clarify the Prajapati's picture. We understood that in one Manu, there are six types of this Devatas and Manu Avtaras and Manu Putras. What about Prajapatis, Prabhuji? Prajapatis are directly born from Brahmaji. So, so Daksha is a Prajapati.
Yes.
Even Swayambhu Manu is a Prajapati.
No, Manu is not Prajapati.
So then, in Manu, with Manu, Prajapati Daksha was also born. That
Yes.
means like.
Yes.
So.
Daksha was elder brother of Manu.
Yeah.
Daksha born first and Manu born last. Manu was the youngest son of Brahma.
Yes, yes. So in one in Manu's thing, how many Prajapatis are there, Prabhuji?
See, kindly understand what do you mean by Prajapatis. Prajapatis are basically the direct sons of Brahma and their sons. And these direct sons of Brahma, they are all great rishis and great sages. Okay?
Yeah.
They are called Prajapatis because they are assisting Lord Brahma in populating the universe and expanding them.
Yes.
Okay? But they themselves are great rishis. As a Prajapati, they beget some children at one point of time at the beginning only. It is not that they continuously produce children. One time they produce children and that's all. That is over. Rest of the life they will be doing tapasya and all.
Okay.
But while doing so, while living like that, they have another important duty. If all of you remember chapter 12 of 3rd canto, Lord Brahma had different variety of children, out of which the 4 Kumaras have appeared to teach 4 Angas of Vidya.
Yes.
Sankhya, Yoga, Vairagya and Tapasya.
Yeah.
And Narada Muni appeared to teach Bhakti.
Yeah.
All the other sons of Brahma, all the great sages, Daksha, Marichi, Atri, Pulaha, all these great personalities, they have appeared to teach Nishkama Karma Yoga.
Yes.
So time and again they keep teaching this. So, but 7 of them are chosen, are the direct teachers for that Manvantara. Of course, everyone can teach, but the 7 of them were given the main responsibility. Those 7 are known as Saptarishis.
Yeah.
So they will be there and they will be changing after every Manvantara. So during Swayambhu Manvantara, the Saptarishis, the names I have put Atri, Pulasya, Pulaha, Kratu, Marichi, yeah, etc. etc. In that, Daksha was not there and Angira was not there. Other sons are all there. Other sons of Brahma. Because Brahma gave about 10 Manasaputras, out of which Narada was Brahmachari, Daksha and Angira. Other than these three, remaining 7 became the Saptarishis for the Swayambhu Manvantara period.
Yeah.
From second Manvantara onwards, different other sages became Saptarishis. Now, during the current Manvantara, so one among the Saptarishis is Jamadagni, the father of Parashurama. So, like Vashishta also is there, and a few other sages are there. So, like that, they keep changing. These are also great sages. So, they stay nearby. They stay in the heaven only, Saptarishi Mandal. And since they stay nearby, it is their responsibility to take care of the teaching, to inspire the Devatas and to inspire the Manu and kings and all of us to practice Dharma, basically Varnashrama Dharma. So, that's how we have to understand. So, these are technically Prajapatis. Just because they are Prajapatis, they keep producing children. No, it is not like that. They have produced when it is required to produce. But throughout their lifespan, their main duty is to teach and to protect the principles of Dharma. Time and again.
Okay.
It is these Saptarishis only keep appearing as various acharyas among us and keep teaching us. Bhakti, Jnana, Yoga, Karma, all these things are taught by them time and again. In the previous Yuga, they would come directly. In Kali Yuga, they change their identity and come in the form of various gurus and acharyas.
Oh.
Hmm.
So, Prabhuji, Swayambhu Manu, so after Swayambhu Manu's ring is over, the other Manu takes over. So, then these also changes. So, for how many years these Prajapatis and all this they live, or when they depart
The
to.
Prajapatis live, the great sages live as long as Brahma, 100 years.
Okay.
But Saptarishis only have the tenure, matlab, they live for long time. Some of them can live only one day of Brahma, some of them can live an entire lifespan of Brahma. But for some time, they take the responsibility as Saptarishis.
Yeah, for one rings, other 7, the other ring, other 7. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so they can stay for full lifetime of Brahma or one day as their things.
The direct sons of Brahma will stay for one lifespan of Brahma. But the second generation, some of them, if they want, they can stay entire lifespan. Or after the end of the day of Brahma, they can go back to Godhead if they want to go back to Godhead. It's up to them. Because they are not conditioned souls, they are all teachers.
Okay, Prabhuji. Okay, and yeah, thank you.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, one question. Like through that mountain and the river near Vindhya, along with Atri Muni, his wife also came there, Anasuya. So did she also perform the tapasya?
Yes. When husband performs, wife also assists. Wife also might have performed some tapasya somewhat similar to that. May not be so harsh, so hard, but to whatever extent she can tolerate and perform.
Okay. Okay, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Yeah. Even in 10th canto, the third chapter of Lord Krishna appears as Vasudeva. Krishna will tell Devaki and Vasudeva that, do you remember during Swayambhu Manvantara, you were known as Prishni and Sutapa. And both of you performed severe tapasya, only accepting some dry berries and dry leaves and some water for the duration of 12,000 celestial years. Because You wanted a son like me. Since there is no one who is like me, I only wanted to become your son for 3 times. First time I born as from your womb, known as Prishnigarbha. Second time I was born as Vamana. Now again I am appearing as Krishna. So like that. So it happened many times. Many great devotees wanted the Supreme Lord as their son, but they would never ask the Lord, my dear Lord, you only become our son. Instead, they will say that, I want to have a son like you. Because there is no one like Supreme Lord. Supreme Lord himself become their son. Even in the fifth canto, we will see later on, what is his name? King Nabi also performs a wonderful yajna, praying to the Lord that, my dear Lord, I want to have a son like you. The Supreme Lord appeared as their son as Lord Rishabhadev. So this is there. This is a regular phenomenon always happening. Devotees desire like that and Lord fulfills their desires. So like that.
Yes, Prabhuji, thank you.
Okay, we'll continue. Atasmad amsha bhutaste. Someone repeat.
Athasma ansha bhutaste
Atmaja loka vishruta.
atmaja loka vishruta
Bhavitaronga vadramte.
bhavitarungam bhadram te
Vishrapshanti cha te yasha.
visrapyanti cha te yashaha. You will have sons who will represent a partial manifestation of our potency, and because we desire all good fortune for you, those sons will glorify your reputation throughout the world. Hare Krishna.
O sage, our portions will be born as your sons, famous in this world. Good fortune to you. Your fame will spread everywhere. In order to show that Lord Vishnu is actually the supreme Lord among them, the Lord Vishnu became Dattatreya, an avatara, not the other two. So my dear great sage Atri, don't worry. As you desired, you will have 3 sons. With the help of those 3 sons, your fame will spread all over the universe. Like that. Evam kamavaram datva. Yes, Hare Krishna, someone repeat.
Evam kamavaram dattva
Prati Jagmu Sureshwara.
prati jagmu sureshwara
Sabhajitastayo Samyak.
sabhajitastayo samyak
Dampatyor Mishato Tata.
dampatyor mishatostataha. Translation. Thus, while the couple looked on, the three deities, Brahma, Vishnu, and Maheshwar, disappeared from that place after bestowing upon Atri Muni the benediction. Hare Krishna.
So having thus blessed Atri and Anasuya, 3 of them disappeared. That means in due course of time they will bore 3 children. That is the understanding. Somo Bhut Brahmano Amshena.
Udva
Somaavud Brahmanom Sena
Datto Vishnustu Yogavet.
Tatto Vishnustu Yogavit
Durvasa Shankarayamsho.
Durvasha Shankarasyamso
Nibodangira Sapraja.
Nibodangira Sapraja. Translation. Thereafter, from the partial representation of Brahma, the moon god was born to them. From the partial representation of Vishnu, the great mystic Dattatreya was born. And from the partial representation of Shankara, Lord Shiva, Durvasa was born. Now you may hear from me of the many sons of Angira.
Yeah. Lord Brahma's expansion appeared as Soma. Lord Vishnu's expansion appeared as Dattatreya. Lord Shiva's expansion appeared as Durvasa. So now, Soma and Durvasa does not have any indication in relation to their parents. But Dattatreya, his name itself has Atri. So we can immediately understand when we say Dattatreya, he is the son of Atri Muni. So by Lord's own name, he is making Atri and all over the universe. So in that way, the Supreme Lord made him famous. So like that, the two daughters of Daksha, okay, two daughters of Kardama. The first one was Kala, the second one was Anasuya. They were described. Now the third daughter was married, who married Angira, will be described.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Mataji.
Prabhuji, we have heard that Sati Anusaya story about her chastity and all these things. So these three Vishnu, Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh came, and that story is not means. I am not understanding about this. Is this same story or some? This is a lok katha like that only.
See, both could be there. Here, actually, they are performing a vrata to invite the Lord as their son. But the other story is to show the greatness and chastity of
Satyanusa.
So yeah, that could have also happened some other time. No, not necessarily now they should happen. That happened in the Hermitage only. That might have happened either before or later, in whichever case. So we cannot deny that. Yeah, that could have also happened.
Okay.
But now it is not required because that pastime nothing to do with begetting sons. Because Brahma himself also, in order to create any child, he would meditate. Following the footsteps of Brahma, same thing Atri Muni is also doing. Even in the third canto, we saw, before getting married, Kardama Muni also performed tapasya for 10,000 years. So that is like a common practice for all the great sages. So in order to beget children, they go through tapasya, serious tapasya. Even for us also, it is known as Garbhadana Samskara. So all of us are recommended to follow the Garbhadana Samskara process, which includes following certain rules and regulations and all these things. As a result of that, one can invite a well-behaved, obedient, devotee child. So the whole purpose is to invoke a auspicious child. So for that, one need to follow the proper protocol. Here, these people are performing severe austerities because they are inviting the Supreme Lord himself, so the topmost personality. So their austerities should be on that category. Like that, we have to understand.
And Prabhuji, you showed one photo of the place where this happened.
Oh, later on, by the request of the great Alvars, the same Lord again manifested himself in his Swambhu deity form in that particular Tiruchi place. The deity appeared there. So he performed this tapasya somewhere else, but Lord appeared to them in one form. So they prayed to the same Lord, Atri Muni again. So they basically the entire pastime is revealed to 12 Alvars, and the Lord manifested there. So in that way.
Okay. And Prabhuji, one photo is always there that when Dattatreya comes in our mind, he has three heads of Brahma, Vishnu, and Mahesh. Means that three heads.
Yeah, this
so
is
that
Tala Purana.
concept,
The local people made it like that. So they say that three of them.
So that's not the real thing.
I don't know. There could be some other reason also for that. Especially in Maharashtra only we see Dattatreya being with three heads only in Maharashtra, not other places.
Yeah, and somewhere in Prabhupada's purport, it is written that Dattatreya's philosophy is it's not should not be read because it is it's all about impersonalism like that. So that Dattatreya and this are completely different, I think, because otherwise
No, not like that. Not like that. Same only. It is there in later on it comes. In 5th canto, there is a detail comes about Lord Rishabhadeva. In the 12th canto, there is a discussion about Dattatreya. 11th canto, there is a discussion about Dattatreya. In Rupa Goswami's Bhakti Sindhu, there is a discussion about Lord Buddha also. Lord has unlimited avatars, but among all the different avatars, we should not follow the philosophy taught by these three personalities. We should respect them in all respects. Two things we should not do. We should not worship them in deity form, and we should not follow the philosophy taught by them.
Okay.
Buddha, Rishabhadev. No, philosophy in the sense, we will discuss when we come to 5th canto, we will discuss in great detail.
Yeah.
The teachings which he taught to his 100 that they are good. But later on, by his personal activities, he taught one philosophy. Jada Yoga, it is known as Jada Yoga.
Yeah.
Becoming like a dumb man without wearing clothes, traveling all over, not even shaving, instead of shaving, only plucking the ear, something like that. So many things are there. I don't remember all of them. So Prabhupada says that, of course, they were all required at that point of time, but right now they are not relevant. So we should not follow them.
Okay.
Same way, in the 11th canto, we read that 24 gurus. The 24 gurus are the 24 gurus of Dattatreya. That Avaduta Brahmana, who was encountering all these 24 gurus and is telling what he had learned from the 24 gurus, himself is Dattatreya.
Oh.
And the 25th guru is one's own body. So basically, see, it is not that it is impersonal and all, because that is only one portion of the complete teaching. It is not complete. It is for a person who is like a recluse, who does not have association of a guru in person. So even that person also can learn so many things from the material nature, from the people around him. So that is like a kind of emergency condition.
Okay.
So in that way, our Acharya said that okay, in emergency that is okay, but not regularly it is not okay. So in that way, it is like that.
Okay, Prabhuji.
So there are some limitations. Same way like Buddha also. So Buddha had a philosophy saying that no, if Vedas are recommending you to perform Gomeda, Ashwamedha Yajna, then forget it. Forget all the Vedas. Just follow Ahimsa Paramo Dharma, something like that. So that is not practical for all the time. Of course, at that time when the things are very in bad condition, in order to stop them, he said like that. But that does not mean that it has to be followed throughout the history, throughout the life.
Yeah.
So when it was needed, it should be followed. Like they are all like emergency philosophies. And even the 5th canto clearly says, what Lord Rishabhadeva did is only for the jnanis of the previous 3 yugas. It is not meant for the Kali Yuga people. Kali Yuga, no one should follow in the footsteps of Rishabhadeva. Clearly mentioned.
But Prabhuji, these Jain people follow all these things.
And what can be done? Since it is Kali Yuga, they follow.
Okay.
So, Kali Yuga is that Yuga. Everyone says, I know better than you. So, in that way.
Okay, Prabhuji. Yeah. Thank you.
But in any case, he is also an expansion of the Lord. He appeared for a purpose. When he appeared, his teachings were most relevant. Now it may not be. Because he appeared long back that time, they are most relevant and etc. etc. But now, since we are in a time where after Lord Rama appeared and Lord Krishna appeared, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared, and their teachings are very recent teachings, and they are current and they are relevant to us, not the ancient teachings. So like that we have to see.
Yeah, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, during this book marathon in December, I think there's one Datta Jayanti.
Yes,
In
yes.
Maharashtra and in many places, they celebrate in so much pomp and this. So it was so confusing, Prabhuji, ki this and that. So when this topic came about Dattatreya, so Dattatreya is a single deity and it's direct amsha of Vishnu Bhagwan. So this is some, and this concept is only in Maharashtra because we can't hear anything otherwise in India. So it got confused. Ki what is what?
So no problem. We don't have to analyze so much. Even if they say Dattatreya is a combination of three of them, Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva, no problem. There are three of them, but Vishnu in the middle, Vishnu is the main person. The same Vishnu spoke Bhagavad Gita. Please read Bhagavad Gita. Something like that.
Okay. Okay, Prabhuji.
So
Yes.
his teachings are there in the Bhagavad Gita. So we need to follow. Like that, we can inspire people to take.
Okay, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Yeah.
श्रद्धा तु अंगीरसा पत्नेर्
श्रद्धा तु अंगीरसः पातेन
चतस्रो सुतकन्यका
चतस्रो सुतकन्यका
सिनिवाली कुहूराका
सिनिवाली कुहूराका
चतुर्थी अनुमतिस्तथा.
चतुर्थी अनुमतिस्तथा.
I will read the
Angira's-
translation, Mataji. I will read.
Okay.
Angira's wife Shraddha gave birth to 4 daughters named Chinivali, Kuhu, Raka, and Anumati. The next daughter of Kardama, Shraddha married Angira, and she gave birth to 4 daughters. Tatputrau Aparau Astam
तत्पुत्राव अपराव अस्ताम
Kyato Swarocisentare
यातौ स्वारोसि सेन्तरे
Utatyo Bhagavan Sakshat
उतत्यो भगवान् साक्षात्
Brahmishtascha Bruhaspatihi.
ब्रह्मिष्ठस्ता बृहस्पतिः.
Besides these 4 daughters, she also had 2 sons. One of them was known as Utatya, directly the Supreme Lord, Bhagavan Sakshat, and the other was the knower of Brahman, Brahaspati. So they also gave birth to who? Who gave birth to these 2 people? Angira. Angira Rishi had 4 daughters and 2 sons. The 2 sons were Brahaspati and Utatya. Brahaspati is the knower of Brahman, he is the knower of the Supreme Lord, and Utatya is a Kala, or we can say one expansion of the Supreme Lord. He is like Amsha Avatara, something like that. A Shakti Avesh Avatar, something like that, we can say. Utatya. Utatya is actually a blind person, a blind sage. If anybody wants to know about Utatya, you can read Ramayana Mahabharata. There is a discussion about him. He is a great sage. Pulasyo Janayat Patnyam
पुलस्त्यो जनयत् पत्न्याम्
Agastyam Chahavirbhuvi
अगस्त्यं चाहवीर्भुवि
Sonya Janmani Dharagnis
सोऽन्यजन्मनि दहराङ्गीर्
Vishravascha Mahatapa.
विश्रवाश्च महातपः.
Pulasya married Havirbu and they had one son known as Agastya. And in another birth, he became Dharagni. And Pulaksya also begot one more son whose name was Vishrava, endowed with great austerity. So basically, through Havirbu, Pulasya had 2 sons, Agastya and Vishrava. In another birth, the same Agastya was born as Dharagni. In that way, Havirbu became the wife of Pulasya. In another birth, Agastya was digestive fire. Dharagni means digestive fire. Another son of Pulasya was Vishrava. Tasya Yakshapatirdeva
तस्य यक्षापतिर्देवा
Kuberastu Idavida Suta
कुबेरस्तु इडविडास्तुता
Ravana Kumbhakarnascha
रावणा कुम्भकर्णस्य
Tatanyasyam Vibhishana.
ततन्यासां विभीषणः.
So the son of Vishrava's wife Idavida was Kuvera. So Vishrava had 2 wives. The first wife was Idavida and she gave birth to Kuvera, the master of all the Yakshas. And Vishrava had another wife known as Keshini and she gave birth to Ravana, Kumbhakarna and Vibhishana. Kindly remember, Kuvera was born long back, maybe when he was born we don't know. But Ravana, Kumbhakarna and Vibhishana were born recently. The sage is there, the Vishrava, and Vishrava's father Pulasya, they are there from the beginning of the day of Brahma. But time, as per the requirement of the time, they beget children. Not that continuously they beget children. So he had Agastya and also Vishrava. So Vishrava initially married Dravida only, and he had a devoted son, Kuvera, who is one among the 8 Lokapalas. But Asuras, in order to have a powerful son to defeat Indra, they instigated one of their Asura Kanya. You please go and serve this sage Vishrava. So she was serving that sage for many months and years. Finally, the sage became very much pleased with that lady. He said, so please tell me what do you want? I'm very much pleased with your service attitude. I can fulfill any of your blessing. Then the Asuras already trained her. If the sage says like that, request her that I want to marry you and beget children through you. So Keshani said same thing. So Vishrava, because he already gave promise that I will fulfill whatever you want. So he married her because she is from Asura category. She gave birth to 3 sons, Ravana, Kumbhakarna and Vibhishana. I think one more daughter also, Surpanaka also. But like that, these sons were born. So like that. So the sage Vishrava. Pulasya gatir bharya
Pulahasya gatirbarya
Trin asuta sati sutan
Trin asota sati sutan
Karma shreshtam variyamsham
Karma shreshtam variyamsam
Sahishnum cha mahamate.
Sahisnum cha mahamate.
O Vidura, Gati, the wife of Pulaha, gave birth to 3 pure sons named Karmasheshtra, Variyan, and Sahishnu. The next daughter, Gati, married Pulaha and they gave birth to 3 sons Karmasheshtra, Variya, and Sahishnu. The next one, Kratorapi Kriya Bharya,
Kratorapi kriya bharya
Valakilyan Asuyata,
Valakilyan ashuyata
Rishin Shashti Sahasrani.
Rishin shashti sahasrani
Jwalato Brahma Tejasa.
Jvalato brahma tejasa.
And Kratu married Kriya and they gave birth to 60,000 great sages known as Valakilyas, who were as brilliant, they were very much brilliant with the spiritual knowledge. Jwalanto Brahma Tejasa. So the Valakilyas are of thumb size. Their size is very small, very small dwarf kids. Like that, there are 60,000 children. They are all filled with the knowledge of Supreme Lord and they are effulgent by that knowledge. Later on in 5th canto, we will understand that these 60,000 Valakilyas are situated in the sun planet. They are continuously worshipping Surya Narayana so that the sun god can do his duty without any dissatisfaction or fatigue, etc. So, like that. They stay in sun planet. Urjayam Jajnire Putra
Urjayam jajnire putra
Vasishtasya Parantapa
Vasishtasya parantapa
Chitraketu Pradanaste
Chitrakedu pradanaste
Sapta Brahmarshayo Mala.
Mukta brahmarshayo malaha.
The sons of Vasishta took birth in his wife Urja. These sons headed by Chitraketu were the 7 spotlight sages. So Urja married Vasishta and they gave birth to 7 sages. So who are the 7 sages? Chitraketu Surochishcha
Chitraketu surocischa
Viraja Mitrayevacha
Viraja mitrayevacha
Ulbano Vasubrudhyano
Ulbano vasubhridyano
Yuman Shakti Adayo Pare.
Yuman shakti adayo pare.
The names of these 7 sages are as follows: Chitraketu, Surochi, Viraja, Mitra, Ulbana, Vasubrudyana, and Juman. They are the 7 wives, 7 sons who are born to Vasishta through his wife known as Urja. And then Vasishta had another wife. Through her, he had 100 sons. The eldest among the 100 sons is Shakti. I suppose the another wife is Arundhati. Arundhati is the second wife of Vasishtha, and they gave birth to 100 sons. The eldest among the 100 sons was Shakti. And Shakti had one son. His name is Parashara. And Parashara had one son. His name is Vyasa. And Vyasa had one son. His name is Sukadeva Goswami. So this is the lineage. Vasishtha, Shakti, Parashara, Sukadeva, Vyasa, Sukadeva Goswami. Like that. Chittistu Atarvana Patni.
Chittistu Atarvana Patni.
Lebe Putram Drutavratam.
Lebe Putram Dritavratam.
Dadyancha Ashvashirasam.
Dadyancham Ashvashirasham.
Brugor Vamsham Nibodame.
Trigor Vamsam Nibodame.
Then later on, Atharva married Chitti, who gave birth to a son named Daddacha, formed in vows, having a horse head. Now you may hear from me about the descendants of sage Bhrigu. So Dadyancha could be a different person, or it could be the same person as Dadichi Muni. Dadyancha and Dadichi could be the same, or could be different. So the Dadyancha, his details will come in the 6th canto in relation to Narayana Kavach. The Narayana Kavach was taught by Dadyancha Muni to Indra. And the same Narayana Kavach was given by 3 Vishwarupa to Indra once again. So like that. Bhruguhu Katyatam Mahabhaga.
Bhrigu Katyatyam Mahabhaga.
Patnyam Putrana Jijanat.
Patnyam Putran Ajijanat.
Dhataram cha vidataram.
Dataram cha Vidataram.
Shriyam cha Bhagavat Param.
Shriyam cha Bhagavat Param.
So then, Bhrigu Muni married Kathy, and they had 2 children, Data and Vidata, and one daughter named Sri, who was completely devoted to Supreme Lord. Data, Vidata, and Sri. Ayatim Niyatim Chaiva.
Ayatim Niyatim Chaiva.
Sute Merustayoradat.
Sute Merustayor Adat.
Sabhyam Tayor Abhavatam.
Tabhyam Tayor Abhavatam.
Mrukanda Pranayevacha.
Rikanda Pranayevacha.
Since Bhrigu Muni had 2 sons, Dada and Vidata, they are supposed to be married. And they were married to Ayati and Niyati, the 2 daughters of Meru. And they eventually gave birth to Mrukanda and Prana. Ayati gave birth to Mrukanda, Niyati gave birth to Prana, who married Data and Vidata. So like that. Markandeyo Mrukandasya.
Markandeyo Mrikandasya.
Pranadvedashira Muni.
Pranadvedashira Munihi.
Kavischa Bhargavo Yasya.
Kavischa Bhargavo Yasya.
Bhagavan Nushana Sutta.
Bhagavan Ushana Shuta.
From Mrukanda, Markandeya Muni was born, and from Prana, the sage Vedashira, whose son was Ushana or Shukracharya, known as Kavi. This Kavi also belonged to the descendants of Bhrigu dynasty. We are discussing about Bhrigu only, na? Bhrigu married Kathy, and Bhrigu had 2 children, Data and Vidata. They married Ayati and Niyati, and Data marrying Ayati gave birth to Mrukanda, who gave birth to Markandeya Rishi, about whom we hear. Markandeya Rishi, when Mrukanda performed severe tapasya to Lord Shiva with a desire to have a son. So Lord Shiva appeared, and Lord Shiva told, what kind of son you want? So you have 2 options. You can have a disobedient son with long life, or you can have a obedient, devoted son of less lifespan, 12 years only lifespan, whom you want. So at that point of time, Brukanda said, no problem, I want to have a obedient, devoted son, who though his lifespan is small, but I want to have devoted son only. So he was blessed with a son. So for 11 years, they were very happy. 12th year, Brukanda was very unhappy. Then Markandeya asked, my dear father, what was the reason for your unhappiness? And he told, my dear son, this is the reason. This year you are going to die as per the blessings given by Lord Shiva. So then Markandeya says, if Lord Shiva had given you blessings, I will go and worship Lord Shiva only. It is up to him. If you want to retain me here, no problem. If you want to take me, let him do whatever he want. But I will worship Lord Shiva. So he went on severely worshipping Lord Shiva. Eventually, Lord Shiva had to give him long life like that of 7 kalpas. Markandeya Rishi was blessed to live for 7 kalpas. So that is the power of worshipping the person, wonderful lords. So in that way, so then Prana, sage Vedasira, Prana gave birth to Vedashira, and Vedashira gave birth to Shukracharya. So Shukracharya was born to him. So in that way. So the last 2 verses for today. Tayete Munayakshatar
Tayete Munayakshatar
Lokan Sargaira Bhavayan
Lokans
Lokan Sargaira Bhavayan Esha Kardama Duhitra
Yesha Kardama Dauhitra
Santana Katitastava
Santana Kati Tastava
Shrunvata Shraddha Danasya
Shrunvata Shraddha Danasya
Sadhya Papa Harappara
Sadhya Papa Harappara
Prasutim Manavim Daksha
Prasutim Manavim Daksha
Upayemehi Ajatmaja.
Upayemehi Ajatmajaha.
O Vidura, these sages produced various types of population to these offsprings. To you, listening with great faith, I have related the topics of grandsons and descendants of Kardama, which immediately destroy all sins. Daksha, another son of Brahma, married Prasuti, the daughter of Manu. And later on, Daksha's children will be described. So, in total, we have seen that the 9 daughters of Kardama married the 9 sons of Brahma, and they gave birth to various personalities. Marichi gave birth to Kashyapa and Purnima, Atri gave birth to Dattatreya, Soma, Durvasa, Angira gave birth to 4 daughters and 2 sons, Pulasya gave birth to Agastya and Vishrava, Pulaha gave birth to 3 sons, Kratu gave birth to 67 Valakilyas, Vashishta gave birth to 7 sages, Atharva gave birth to Tadyancha, Rugu gave birth to Data and Vidata and Shri. So like that. Anyone who hear the descriptions of this dynasty with faith will be relieved from all sinful reactions. So you see here, so since beginning, today we have seen Akuti married Ruchi and gave birth to Lord Yajna, Lord Vishnu's Avatara, and Dakshina. And they married and gave birth to 12 Tushitas. Then later on we saw that Devahuti Kardama had 9 daughters. They married 9 sons of Brahma and they gave birth to various children. So Kala married Marichi and gave birth to Kashyapa and Purnima. Kashyapa's children are explained in the 6th canto. Purnima had few children. They are mentioned here, Viraja and Vishwa, etc. Anasuya married Atri. They have 3 children, Dattatreya, Durvasa and Soma. Shraddha married Angira. They had all the great sages including Uttaya and Brahaspati, Utathya and Brahaspati, wonderful personalities. I think they are the 4 daughters and 2 sons. Avirbu married Pulasya. They gave birth to Agastya and Vishrava. Vishrava married Avida, gave birth to Kuvera. Vishrava married Keshini, gave birth to Ravana, Kumbhakarna and Vibhishana. Gati married Pulaha, gave birth to Karmasheshtra, Variyan and Saishnu. Kratu, Kriya married Kratu, 60,000 Valakilla sages, their children. Urja married Vashishta, gave birth to Chitraketu, Surochi, like that 7 sages. And Vashishta married Arundhati and gave birth to Shakti, and along with Shakti, 100 sons were born. Total 100 sons. Chitti married Atharva, gave birth to Daddincha. Khyati married Bhrigu, and they gave birth to Data and Vidata, devoted to, and one daughter Shri. Data married Ayati, gave birth to Mrukanda, and Mrukanda gave birth to Markandeya Muni. Vidata married Niyati, gave birth to Prana, who gave birth to Vedashira. And Bhrigu married another wife, through another wife gave birth to Bhargava or Ushana Kavi. So like that, these are all different wonderful personalities about whom we regularly hear in Srimad Bhagavatam, Ramayana, Mahabharata, etc. All the great sages. So time to time we hear about them. So all these personalities were born at the beginning of the day of Brahma. Most of them. Some of them were born later. For that matter, like Ravana, Kumbhakarna, and all born recently. So in that way. So these are the details about the appearances, the descendants of Akuti and Devahuti. And starting from next verse, we will see Prasuti. That we will continue in the next class. So we'll stop here. Any questions? Hare Krishna.
No, Prabhuji.
Okay.
हरे कृष्णा प्रभु जी धन्यवाद
yes,
प्रणाम प्रभु जी एक क्वेश्चन है कि ये लोग इतना ऑस्टेरिटी करते थे जैसा त्रि महाराज ने किया ध्रुव महाराज तो 5 साल के ही थे तो इतना ऑस्टेरिटी करने के लिए उनको शुरू में जैसे 5 इयर्स की एज में इतना ताकत कैसे मिलता है हम लोग थोड़ा भी करना चाहते हैं तो कैसा नहीं कर सकते कुछ भी तो वो सतयुग में थे इसके लिए या
Yeah, one reason is they are in Satya Yuga. Second reason is they are so determined to do it. We are
हम लोग
not determined.
डिटरमाइन होंगे ना प्रभु जी फिर भी क्या होते बॉडी साथ नहीं देता
That's why na our body does not. That's why Hare Namanu Kirtanam. What at most we can do is Harinam in Kali Yuga. We cannot do all other things. Our body, our mind does not cooperate. The Kali Yuga body itself is not so well developed and well what we can say well furnished, we can say. It's very difficult with this body.
Yes, Prabhuji. And Prabhuji, one thing about my submissions, I have almost finished everything. So in 1 or 2 days, I will send it to you.
Okay, then.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Yes.
Okay, Hare Krishna. We'll stop here for today. Thank you very much. Grantara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai.
Thank you.
Ananta Koti Vaishnava Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna. I don't know what